Crenshaw with you. And now, folks, something that we started last week, and the response was really great. We're going to continue. The world of gaming, it is expanding. It is growing. A lot of it's already here. We're catching up to it. Brian Smalley joins us now, the waitfor.com hotline, who is our expert. Brian, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sam.
Well, great to have you back with us this week. I mean, we got a lot of response, and Greg and I have been talking this week about having you back on and try to lock you in for this time each and every week, so you can enlighten us a little bit more about the world of gaming.
You know what else? And I didn't mention this to Brian while we got him on the phone earlier, or you, but you know who wants to be a part of this segment as it grows? Hugh Douglas.
Ooh, big Hugh. That'd be awesome.
Hugh wants. You will not find a bigger gamer than Hugh.
Yeah,
not literally and figuratively.
Literally and figuratively. Yeah.
So anyway, Brian, I know the education of Sam and I continues, so the floor is yours.
Yeah. So last week we discussed kind of the basics of esports, and we talked about how these players can make money and how much revenue they generate. And I kind of wanted to expand on that because I talked about the individual players, but I want you guys to understand just how big esports is outside of the U.S. and as a global thing. Esports in 2015 globally made about $325 million, which is not a small sum of money. And in 2016, it is predicted to make about $463 million. 175 of that coming from the United States. The largest markets outside of the United States being China and Korea.
And again, just the average age of these guys that are doing this, that are making that money, is what, would you say?
It's like 20, 21.
Okay.
That's simply amazing. Well, if you want to text something for Brian, you can text on the Solomon Brothers Diamond text line at 22929. Anything, pertaining to gaming or esports. What's the earliest you hear of a kid getting involved in this and people see early on this? What do you look for early on to let you know that someone has the possibility of being good enough to play this and earn money?
So the youngest kids that I see picked up are generally 16, and that's actually not in America very common. But in Korea, they can get them as early as 16 because the way their school system is set up, it's different. And so after they're 16 years old, they're not required to go to school anymore. And so they can start playing esports professionally. And what they're looking for is team cohesion. Just like any high school sport person, you would look for a player who can provide teamwork and a good work atmosphere, but also these incredibly fast reaction times that allow these young people to outperform esports players who are coming up on their mid-20s, late 20s. These 16-year-olds are just so fast that they have nothing else to do. They can dedicate themselves wholly to it, and they're able to just react quicker than everyone else. And so that's a big part of esports is reaction times and things like that.
I'm sorry.
Now, generally.
Go ahead, Brian. I'm just having this picture of thumb control or thumb exercises.
Yeah, I mean, you think about like an Olympic level reaction time, and these guys are as fast, if not faster. Like their hand-eye coordination is at a level that if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you look up some of the pro StarCraft players because they're doing what's called actions per minute, which is how many times they make a movement on the keyboard or mouse that affects a thing in the game. And some of them are going up into the high 200 actions per minute, which is they're clicking the keyboard or the mouse 200 times or more in a single minute to perform an action, an independent action on the game.
That is unbelievable. That is simply unreal.
Yeah.
On the waitfor.com hotline, we're joined by Brian Smalley this morning, who's been getting us up to speed on esports and how lucrative it is. I've had a chance to go over and watch Counter-Strike Global Offensive and watch that. And people who are organizing leagues talk about the times the players have to spend together. You want to get team unity just like you would for any other sport. So they may find a place where they all live together and practice at a certain time. And talk about that, because those are things we hear from teams in other sports. The chemistry has to be built.
Yeah. I mean, the majority of teams that play in the different esports do live in team houses. These are larger houses with multiple bedrooms, and they're spending 8 hours a day to practice, and they're living together. And if they have a good team manager, they're exercising together, they're eating healthy meals together, and they're doing team-building exercises together. I want to speak specifically about teams like Echo Fox, who are owned by Rick Fox, former LA Lakers player, who he is very serious about his players playing together, living together, training together, and then they also travel together. They do team-building exercises. And all that stuff. And he understands, having been a pro basketball player for so long, the importance of building synergy and building trust in your teammates as a means to, make a better team.
Got a texture from the Solomon Brothers Diamond text line from the 480-385. I'm a Hearthstone player. These top players who stream for a living, what kind of money do they make? And that's coming from Steve.
So Hearthstone player, he wants to know, top players for streaming can pull in an insane amount of money. Let me see. They can make a lot of money when the top pros decide that they want to hop on. They get the most viewers on Twitch, which already has an insane amount of viewers, and They draw in all these people who want to donate because they want to be noticed by the player. They want to be part of the community that the player has built, which I talked a little bit about last week.
Well, Brian, are you talking 5 figures or 6 figures?
5 figures,
upper?
Probably. But yeah, it's upper. Cutie Pie, who is a retired League of Legends pro player, makes about $14,000 a month.
Whoa!
At last estimate.
That's nice.
$14,000 a month just streaming. That is money that a person is donating directly into his hands and saying, "Here's $5," and then there's 1,000 other people doing that every single month. On top of that, there's his sponsorships. He gets sponsored by video game companies like G2A or Live Capper. I think he has a NASCAR sponsorship on his stream. I'm not a ton of sponsorships because
okay, there he is. Okay, we thought we lost you there for a second. Again, Brian Smalley joining us here, Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. It's all about gaming. You were talking earlier about something. I thought you were about to go down a path talking about what was happening worldwide. Finish that thought, but then also bring us locally here to Atlanta. What's going on?
Yeah. Okay. So worldwide, League of Legends, the North American League Championship Series is playing today. They play every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you can catch that starting around 2 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv. And that's great. You can see teams from all over North America competing. We've got EVO coming up in Las Vegas, which is the largest fighting game tournament in the world. And that takes place, it's been taking place for like a decade. And so you'll be able to see that if you want to see the best fighting game players on earth play.
Well, what particular game do they play? We know there are a lot of different fighting games.
Right. So EVO actually covers your top 5, generally speaking. So right now, new releases, Street Fighter V is huge. Smash Brothers 4 for the Nintendo Wii U, also very big. Mortal Kombat 10 is still getting played a lot. And so you'll see those top brand new fighting games that are going to be there. Street Fighter V will definitely be the biggest one there, and they have a very large update coming out for that game around the same time as EVO beginning. And so there's going to be a lot of excitement and a lot of news about it.
This guy is our one-stop shop in here too. This is great. And Brian, listen, while I got you, before you finish up here, give us a name off the top of your head that'd be a great Father's Day gift for the kid who knows his father is still playing games, is still playing video games, and it would make a nice present. We talked about that earlier with other stuff, so we might as well throw in gaming for Father's Day presents.
I mean, if he's looking to play with his dad or against his dad, Street Fighter V is great. If you only have a Nintendo console, I say Smash Brothers is fantastic. Those are great games. And then Overwatch right now is gaining speed at an incredible level. It's the second most Googled esport game right now. And it's fun to play. It's beautiful, and it's easy for anybody to pick up. Whether you're a casual gamer or you're a retired dad gamer or you're just a kid and you want to play with your dad, highly recommend Overwatch.
Fantastic, Brian. Make sure and follow. I want people to make sure and follow you on Twitter. It is at chef_LU_BU, Chef Lubu. And he gave us that. That's what it is.
I know, he cooks. On top of everything, he's a Renaissance man.
He is. He's a veteran. And we salute him for his service as well as also being our consultant on this. Next week, I want to get into something else with you. Mentioned Rick Fox and the fact that the former NBA players. I'm curious as to how many participants from other sports are really into this. I think we're going to discover that a lot of people are.
Yeah, there's a big guy that we know who works out around here who just bought into it.
So I mean, I think that's something we maybe get into next week. A lot of people may be surprised, and I'm surprised to hear you thought that about Rick Fox. So I mean, maybe we get into that with you next week. That sound pretty good?
That sounds great, Sam.
Okay. Well, that is Brian Smalley.
Brian, thanks.
Thanks so much for joining us again this morning.
Yeah, there's somebody else who knows how to handle a basketball that just bought into esports.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Big dude.
Big dude?
Goes by one name.
Boom.
4 letters.
That guy.
Yeah.
And no telling he hangs out over at Turner where Rick Fox hangs out sometimes as well.
Just bought a real big house here in town.
South of town.
Well, that's still town.
Big
house.
That's what I understand.
Big house.
Well, he kind of needs that. He needs some room.
Yeah, he got some room, all right. He got a room for me and you.